Well, here we are on a beautiful sunny day in Texas. It's going to be 100 and some odd degrees today in the middle of summer, so that sounds like a great day to spend sitting in the air-conditioned tractor behind me. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, you never realize exactly how much you appreciate air conditioning in the tractor until it's 100 and something degrees outside and you're in there. So just so much better. Anyway, what we are here, of course, to do today is test out the thing behind me. And that, of course, is our box blade with a small new addition that we'll talk about in just a second. But first, the thing that we need to do every time we come out here because it's just fun, let's go see the cows. So what we are going to do today is try to see how well we can dig with the box blade. I have, people tell me I'm crazy, and they're not wrong. I have thoughts of potentially digging a pond or 2 or 4 with this box blade on the back end of the tractor. So that means it's time to try it out. It's time to try out putting it in the ground, seeing what I can do, pulling dirt, moving dirt around with it, and digging with it. Now, of course, this is the middle of the summer down here, so the dirt is very hard. This is, I have that black clay silty soil, that, what do they refer to it as, blackland prairie soil, and it gets really hard in the middle of summer. So we're gonna give this box blade a try, see how well it digs in. But in order to make this work a little bit better, I have added this guy up here. That is a hydraulic top link. And there are lots of different hydraulic top links out there that you can buy. This one, I measured my initial top link that came with the tractor, and this one is the one that I could find that most closely resembles the, short and long of my original top link. Also, this is about the heaviest one I could find. I'm sure that it's overkill, but this box blade is pretty big. This box blade weighs about 1,500 pounds, so it's a pretty heavy blade, and the tractor is pretty big and heavy, so I want something that's got a lot of power to it. So plenty of hydraulic top links that I could find were rated up to, say, 10,000 pounds or something like that. This one's rated to 17,000. It's a 3 1/8 inch bore cylinder, so it's pretty big. It weighs about 45 pounds by itself, so it's no slouch. But I did get it put on yesterday and tested out, so we'll show a little video of that. So of course the other thing that I did immediately after putting it together yesterday, because no toy can be put together and not immediately used, is come out here and give it a try digging some dirt, because what fun would it be if you didn't? Getting through that initial top layer of grass and roots was a little bit difficult, but once I put the scarficers down on the box blade, it ripped through it pretty decently. So let's take a look at what we're starting with this morning and what we're going to try to do today. So just a quick close look at our new hydraulic top link here. This of course is our cylinder, 3 1/8 inch bore. I forgot what the actual dimension of the piston is, but it's, as you can see, it's pretty good size. So this is all category 2, since this is a category 2 hitch tractor. Had to buy the hose kit with it. Those go on with this banjo fitting and this 90-degree bend fitting here. And those all use copper washers on there. So I didn't use any kind of thread sealant or pipe dope. You wouldn't want to use tape on any kind of hydraulic system really. But I didn't use anything because, as I said, we got copper washers on these. So torque them down. I don't have an official torque spec for these, so instead they were torqued down to the German Gutentite, and they seem to be working. Haven't had any problem with it spewing hydraulic fluid or anything yet, so let's hope that stays good throughout the day today. But yeah, we're going to run this thing through its paces today. So here's what we did yesterday. We got down to dirt in the middle of this section. This is a really 2 tractor or 2 box blade wide section, and we just got down through the roots in the middle here, and that's where we're going to try to do most of our digging today. We just really want to see how much can I dig down. I have really 2 goals in this project. One is see how much dirt I can dig in a day. The other, of course, is I would like to know what kinds of soil I have out here. I've been down about 5 feet before, and I've never hit anything except this top layer of blackland prairie soil here, which is great. I love having that much topsoil out here on the farm, but I'd love to know if there's anything under there. I'd love to know if there's a layer of clay under there that I can use, because if I do manage to actually dig a pond, it would be really nice to have a layer of clay to distribute around that pond to make a nice, impermeable layer for it. So we're going to dig down and see what we've got. So there you can see behind me kind of the area I'm doing. Really just, 1 pass that way, 1 pass back, drop the load at either end, and we'll see how well this goes today. I'm about 50% confident that this is going to work. So it's about as confident as I get on about anything these days, but we'll see. We'll try to dig that down. This is roughly in the center of an area where I would like to put a pond. So you can kind of see over behind me if I turn here, that set of trees there is the start of a depression in the field, and that depression kind of fans out going that way behind me. So theory, if I manage to dig a hole here and build up a dam, just, right about over behind me there, I should have a fairly decent little pond here. So that's what we're going to try to start on. And like I said, this is a test. We'll know probably by the end of today if this is even a viable option or not. So here we go. Let's get digging. So I have the scarficer teeth set right now, and I'm counting based on these points here. So right now I have them set for 4 up. Which, not real deep. It's not really meant to be deep, but with that top link, I can change the angle on the blade pretty easily to bring them, down more on the front, or, up more if I make it more flat. So we'll see how that goes. Last night when I was using it, I actually had them extended 1 more notch down, and that was working pretty well, but I wanted to see if I can use them a little bit less and let the actual blade pick up more. This blade is actually everything attachments, what they refer to as their Viper edge, which is supposed to be a really, really hard piece of steel, good for rocks and anything else. So I'm not afraid at all to let it just, hit the hard dirt or anything like that. Should be nothing compared to what it can take. So we'll see how this works, and if I need to, I'll put those teeth up or down as we go. Well, as you can see from that, with the scarficers essentially completely out of the ground, it grabs dirt, but it doesn't grab as much as I think it could. So I'm gonna go out, put all those scarficers down one notch, and then we'll see how well it works. Well, of those passes, that last one was definitely the best as far as filling up the box and carrying the most amount of dirt for one pass. But I'm sure that's largely because the pass before in that area got absolutely nothing and just worked up the dirt with the ripper teeth. So I'm going to play a bit more. I need to find the right balance of having the ripper teeth enough in the ground and having the blade against the ground just enough to catch and, you know, have as little pull as I need to there. So I'm going to play with it a bit, see what I can figure out. I also want to mess with the draft control, see if I can get the draft control set up so that it starts to lift just as the box gets full, so that I can actually not be grabbing so much at the end of each pass and just be grabbing, you know, an initial amount of dirt where I go over. So I'm going to play with that a bit, make a bunch of passes back and forth, and I'll fill you in once I hopefully get this thing figured out. Alright, so I think I finally figured this out. What I've done is, you probably can't see it too well from there, but my draft control and stuff is down here. So I've got my draft control set about halfway. It goes from 1 to 15. It's set at about 9, so slightly more than halfway right now. And then, of course, my actual lift, put it all the way down. And then this tractor comes with this nice little lever here that lets you bring the lift all the way up and all the way down. And the point of that is supposed to be for if you're plowing or something like that and you need to lift the plow at the end of the row to turn around, you just use this. So lift, turn around, put it back down, which actually kind of lends itself really nicely to what I'm doing here, where I'm going through the middle with the blade down and then bringing it up and dumping, turning around, coming back with the blade down, etc. So with these set, I can vary the draft control to change the amount of pressure that it's allowing to be put down, and that definitely you can feel with the tractor. If I bring that draft control up a little bit so it's a little bit less, you can definitely feel that the tractor has an easier time going through but ends up grabbing less. So, you know, kind of playing with that draft control every little while just to kind of try to make it so that the blade's getting full every time, so I'm getting the most amount of dirt going each pass. But I think this is working pretty well. I'm going to get some pictures behind this thing as I go through for a few passes so you can kind of see as we're filling it up and dumping, but we're making a hole. Well, here we are after about 2 hours of going back and forth, and what you'll notice is I've sort of abandoned the concept of having it be truly 2 blades wide or 16 feet wide, because the blade is 8 feet, and we're going largely just down the middle. A little bit to the side each time, but largely just down the middle now. But it is making a pretty decent hole. So I'll get the camera down there close and you can kind of see how big the hole is, and we'll take a look at some of the dirt we've piled up at either end. Well, so there's the hole that we've got so far dug here. I don't know. I'd have to put a board across it to really see, but I'd say in the middle at least we're down at least 2 feet. So that's pretty decent for a couple hours here. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of dirt, right? This is a lot of dirt to move. So if we walk up here real quick, we can kind of see the pile at the other end. You can sort of see it from here. And what you'll also notice is the dirt as I go down here. This is definitely dry season, but as I get down, this dirt down here it's wet. Not super wet, but it's definitely not, you know, dry and falling apart like the dirt on top is. So here's our pile. Let's see if I can angle this a little better so we can kind of get a better view of it. But this is our pile that we've piled up at this end, and the other end has exactly the same pile. You can kind of see that over there. So we're gonna keep going. I'll probably go for another hour or so before I decide that I need something to eat. And then we'll do this afternoon and we'll just see how deep we can get this thing. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the box blade so far. It does pretty well going through, grabbing a full load of dirt and dropping it at the end. You know, for 2 hours to be down as far as I am and have as much piled up as I do, that's pretty decent. We'll see how this goes the rest of today. I'm still on the fence as to whether this whole concept of digging a pond with it is really viable. But we'll see how far we get with the rest of it today, and I'm gonna go for probably a couple hours before I take a break and grab something to eat, and I'll try to get some video too of the tractor just going back and forth and how we do. But I don't have a drone. You know, that's gonna be a present for my wife at some point soon, but we'll see about that. Anyway, back to digging. So a friend of mine told him that I was gonna come out here and do this, and he was laughing at me. He's like, man, you gotta just pay somebody with a bulldozer to come out and do it for you. I'm like, yeah, that would definitely be quicker, probably better, less wear and tear on the equipment and less wear and tear on me. But the truth is, bumpiness and all, I just like coming out here and doing it. This is relaxing for me. This is great. You come out here, you're stuck in a tractor all day, you can't do anything else, you can't worry about all the nonsense of the rest of life, and at the end of the day you get to look back and say, hey, I did that, you know, like this, there's a hole in the ground, I made that hole today. I mean, debates can be had about whether it's the right hole or I should have made that hole or anything, but you can at least see that you did something at the end of the day. So it's nice, I like it, so I'll keep doing it much as I get a chance to. All right, well, clearly it's capable of digging a fairly deep trench. I'm down probably, I don't know, 4 feet at least in the middle here compared to the surface, so that's not bad. Would I like to be down more? Yeah, I would. But what's actually happening is the dirt down this deep is actually still wet and it's sticky, and so it doesn't work quite as well. The box blade really likes to have some dry dirt that crumples up and makes smaller pieces on the way out. So occasionally going through this kind of wet stuff, it gets a little bit like the box blade almost gets plugged with it at times, which isn't so great. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do though, I'm going to call this a success as far as the test of digging with the box blade. It appears to work just fine. So did this in roughly about 5 hours or so. Actually a little bit less than that, but either way, not bad considering that I was, you know, still figuring things out. It was definitely going faster toward the end. So I'm gonna say that's good enough. I'm gonna start doing my outline and see about trying to clear off an area for an actual small pond around here, and we'll see how that goes. So I will definitely come back, show more video once I actually get that going, but it's incredibly hot today, and it's time for me to get inside and find some air conditioning. So that's enough for today. We'll see you soon.